Hi, we are looking at these. You had a few questions on this section, so we're going to start with number 42. 42, we're just estimating the size below to the nearest 10 degrees, so we're just kind of estimating it. Here is a right triangle. This is a little bit more than a right triangle. Hopefully you can see that. So we would say maybe that's like 100 or even maybe like 95, like it's really not that much more. Here, remember this told you this was a straight angle. So this here is 180 degrees, so maybe that's like 170, maybe 165. That would be fine here. This angle here is less than 90. Let's see, that is 90. That looks around 45-ish, so something like that is fine. And all we wanted you to do was simply estimate the size of them. You didn't have to have that perfect. Some of you asked about 43. 43, again, they're giving you a lot of information here, but we talked about it in class, and this is telling us to draw an xy axis so that the x's are between 6 and -6, and the y's are between 10 and -10. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's all of that information. And this just asks you to complete the table by substituting the x values into this rule. So it might have just been wordy that got you confused, and hopefully this is helpful. So we're plugging in -4 in here, which gives us -2. We're plugging in -3 in here, which gives you -1. -2 and 2 is 0. -1 and 2 is 1, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. So then you're just graphing it. That's all we're asking you to do. So -4, -2, -3, 1. And those are all of the points. And then it said to connect the results. So that's all we're asking you to do on 43, is they tried to give you a lot of information to help. And maybe that's what messed you up. All right, so the next one that you guys asked for was 44. It's asking for the area and the perimeter of the shape. If you notice, we actually gave you every single side length. So honestly, for perimeter, you're just going to add them all up. So I'm going to let you do that. Now for the area, that's different, because instead of taking the whole rectangle, we want the whole rectangle, the 16 by 21, and we want to subtract this little rectangle here that's missing. So we want to subtract the 15 times 7. So we're going to take the whole thing and minus the part, and then that would give you the area of the resulting shape. Hopefully that's all you need to help you out. So there were actually quite a few of you who asked about 45. 45 is looking at just basic solving things, and if you look at 45, it says look at the notes box on 1.1.4. So here it reminds you of things like combine like terms. So you can look carefully at that and see what's happening. It's talking about subtracting x on both sides, subtracting back 2 on both sides, dividing by 2. So it reminds you of kind of the little parts there. So hopefully if you, in the future, if they tell you to go back and look at that carefully and see if that's helpful. I will look at just a couple because you did ask, so we'll look at those. For A, remember our goal is to get y by itself. There's a 5 over here, so I need to subtract a 5. So I would get 70 when I do that. And then I want to get y by itself, so it's the 14 that we want to move, and we're just simply undoing that. So I'll let you finish that problem. For B, we want to get the r's alone, and so we want to subtract a 13, which would give us -84. And again, same thing, we want to divide by the 7. C, yeah, there's an A on both sides, so maybe we want the A's on one side and then the numbers on the other. So we're going to move the 7 over. Remember, if this is a positive, we subtract it. We're going to move the 11 over, so since this is a positive, we're going to subtract it. Here, we would want to combine our m's. Remember, combining like terms, and then we want to move the 8 over. And so we would add it. That would be the opposite. Hopefully that's all the information you needed. If you need more, of course, come and ask me. I'd be happy to help you out.